Welcome into the show, everybody. My most humble apologies as we are experiencing technical difficulties here at the Farzi Show. So you got me on the phone today, which is just lovely because it's not like anything happened over the weekend. It wasn't like, the NFL draft was recapping. It wasn't like Howie Roseman absolutely wowed us all. It wasn't like the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Astros and unfortunately just couldn't finish the sweep last night on national television, which was a concern of mine that if they were going to wet the bed at all, it would be against the Astros on national television. So there you go. And then they go out and face the Dodgers. So good times. Welcome into the program, everybody. My name is Mark Farzad. This is the Farzi Show presented by Steven Sanger of Steven Sanger Jewelers. Hope you guys had a wonderful, splendid weekend. And I can't help but feel that Howie Roseman was trolling us with the trade of DeAndre Swift. So let me set the scene for you, okay? Let's see. Thursday night, we had a lovely draft show on JAKIB Media. For those watching on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel, hello. We had a lovely draft night. We were enjoying the first round. It was great. It was splendid. It was grand. And then Friday rolls around, and the Eagles continue to do some damage there in the NFL draft. They handled their business by trading out of the second round, which was just lovely. And they get some action going there for themselves in the third round by taking Tyler Steen, the offensive lineman out of Alabama. And then they also take a safety with the 66th overall pick coming in that third round, Sidney Brown. On Saturday, during the last day of the NFL draft, Howie Roseman decided to have a little fun with us. Anyone, myself included, that may not have wanted to take the Eagles or have the Eagles take Bijan Robinson with the first round selection, but just really if they had him on their list at any point in the first round, whether that be at 9 or 8, 9, 10, whatever it might have been for the Eagles, 12, 13, 17, whatever it might have been. Howie Roseman decides to do a beautiful, gorgeous, lovely troll job to all of us that even echoed or just said the name Bijan Robinson with the first round at any point, even if he was there on the board at 30. He trades a 4th round pick for DeAndre Swift. He now has a very good to great running back room, potentially with what you could get from Rashad Penny, with what you have in Kenny Gainwell, and what you now have in DeAndre Swift. And, oh, yeah, by the way, that Boston Scott character is still here as well. So this running back room for the Philadelphia Eagles is solid as solid could be. And the beautiful part about this, the ultimate troll job here from Howie Roseman, is that he did a 7th round pick swap. As if just trading a 4th round pick for DeAndre Swift, a guy who could get 1,000 yards from scrimmage, combining his rushing and receiving, who, by the way, is just 24 years old, which is hilarious because that's how old Kenny Gainwell is. You trade for him for a 4th round pick and a 7th round pick swap. The 7th round pick swap is everybody calm the hell down. I know what I'm doing. And Howie Roseman continues to be an unbelievable wizard when it comes to being the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. I've said it before. I said it on Friday morning after the draft show, after the first round, that Howie Roseman probably has the greatest turnaround next to maybe Bernie Perrant of any Philadelphia sports figure ever. That is how incredible he is at his job. And that's how incredible he has been over the last 7 years since Chip Kelly was the head coach and the final say guy over football decisions with the Eagles. Since Howie was banished from the land of football operations, since he has come back, he has been an incredible general manager. Everything that we knocked him for. Like, no better example than this Philadelphia Eagles team never taking players out of the SEC, never taking Power 5 schools, always going smaller schools and all that. And now it seems like that's all they do when it comes to Alabama. Oh, and by the way, when it comes to Georgetown. Oh, and by the way, when it comes to Jalen Hurts taking a guy out of Oklahoma and Alabama. So why not 2 birds, 1 stone it right there? It is incredible. Absolutely amazing to see this turnaround in philosophy that the Eagles have had. The one constant is they don't really value linebackers, but everything else seems to be following suit with the Eagles, where they are simply building in the trenches, and that's what they absolutely think is the most important thing, and I agree with it. That's even a philosophy of Andy Reid, and now the Eagles have taken it to the nth degree by not just talking about offensive linemen and building in the trenches there, but also investing in your defensive line, as they have done over the last 2 drafts now. Their last 2 drafts in the first round, by taking Jordan Davis, by taking Nolan Smith, by going out there and handling their business as they have done throughout the entire draft, and then being able to go and get Jalen Carter, who was still available there at 9, is beyond me. They have bolstered their defensive line. They helped out their offensive line later in the draft as well. But yes, you build in the trenches, and that's how the Eagles will sustain success. And what they have done, I saw this one criticism, and it was in regards to a clip that JAKIB Media tweeted out of me during the draft night, with just at the end of the night, just being amazed about how good this defense was going to be. A lot of people say, well, the defense, when it came to last year with Jordan Davis, Jordan Davis wasn't that great. Now you got to replace Javon Hargrave. They need somebody to replace the production of Javon Hargrave. And I don't think right out of the gate, Jalen Carter is going to get like an 11 sack season, a 10 sack season even. But if they can get him to take even a little bit of that with Fletcher Cox, and then also get an improvement from Jordan Davis, you're absolutely going to get a similar type of production when it comes to sacks. Now, will it be an NFL? Will it be a top 3 all-time in the NFL? Will it be 70? Will it be 60? Probably not. That's kind of hard to do. But with Nolan Smith, with Hassan Reddick, and then still being pretty damn good on the interior of that defensive line, I think you're going to be okay. It might not be spoiling us again, but what it makes me think is that the Eagles are going to be in a very similar light to what they were last year in terms of not dialing up a lot of blitzes in order to get pressure. When it comes to what this team's going to be doing, it's going to be very similar, as we've said a million times, from what they did with Jonathan Gannon. But what this Eagles defense is going to do this year is going to be similar stylistically than what you saw from Jonathan Gannon. Not identical, but very similar. And you see the Eagles doing exactly what they did last year in terms of building up the defensive line so they don't have to send an extra rusher. They don't have to send 2 extra rushers. They can just continue to get pressure with their front 4. They can continue to get pressure with their edge rushers. And that's how they're going to get, again, a lot of sacks. Maybe not 70, but a lot of sacks. And I look at this draft from Howie, and it wasn't that long ago that we were all ripping Howie and saying how terrible he was at drafting. I feel fantastic about what we're getting from Howie Roseman and his draft selections. I never thought I'd say it as recent as a couple of years ago. And here we are coming off a second Super Bowl appearance in 5 years. And not only did they just absolutely cash it in this draft, but they got someone to help them immediately on that defensive line, 2 players in that first round, and then they got somebody as a veteran player to come in and be a leading rusher for this team. When we talked with John McMullen, this is actually a couple of months back, John had talked about whether or not this team, this is actually on Birds 365 when I was on their show about a month ago. John said, do you feel like the leading rusher for the 2023 Eagles is on this team right now? And Rashad Penny had been acquired already. We obviously already knew that Kenny Gainwell was going to be on this squad. I did not expect them to go out there and get anybody that was going to be legit compete for the leading rusher of the Philadelphia Eagles and beat out Kenny Gainwell for that spot. Rashad Penny has that potential, but again, we all know about the injuries. The fact that DeAndre Swift is now here lets me know that, man, they were really thinking that they were going to replace the production of Miles Sanders, not with Kenny Gainwell, not with Rashad Penny, but with somebody else out there. And with the Detroit Lions, with their first-round picks and all the picks they had in this draft, when they saw that they could get Jahmyr Gibbs and they jumped and they got him, very similar back to what you have in DeAndre Swift, thought, okay, well, this is a different thing. This is lightning and lightning. This isn't, thunder and lightning by any means. This is 2 guys that are very quick. And when they made that acquisition, when they made that selection, DeAndre Swift became available and Howie Roseman pounced on it. And now the Eagles are going to have a running back that is a feel-good story of being from here and will make a lot of Philadelphia Eagles fans feel good as well when they see him not just running out of the backfield, but catching passes out of the backfield from Jalen Hurts. This is a great acquisition. And the fact that he did it with a 24-year-old running back with a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick swap lets you know Howie Roseman knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to value. And if there is one word to describe this Philadelphia Eagles draft, it is value. Jalen Carter, a guy that could have easily been a top 5 pick, goes at 9. It might not sound like a lot of spots, but that's a lot of spots to drop. And the Eagles, through and through, as we talked about on Friday, claim that they have done their homework and they know who they have gotten, and it's all good. It's all great. Then Nolan Smith, the guy that I think some mock drafts I didn't see a mock draft where he was going beyond 15. So you're talking even prospect rankings. I saw 12, I saw 13, I saw 15. And even on draft night, when I was talking to Seth Joyner about it, and he said, you're not going to take a guy that's top 13 at 30 if he's still available? And I'm thinking, well, it's a 30 and it's still available. I think I'm going to take him. Guess at the last second, a lot of NFL teams looked at that size, looked at the 5'11" size, 6'1" size, 5'11", 6'1" size, and said, no, he can't come off the edge. He's an undersized edge rusher. Similar to Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick has, let's see, let me do the math real quick. Hassan Reddick has 39.5 sacks over the last 3 seasons. At least 10-plus sacks, of course, in with 3 different teams over 3 years. No one in the NFL's ever done that. That's pretty good. Hassan Reddick's had himself a nice little career. Now Nolan Smith's going to come in here as an undersized edge rusher and try to have an impact. I think he can do it, especially with this defense, especially with this defensive line playing in front of him. He could absolutely, as an edge rusher, like Hassan Reddick, set that edge. Oh, and if you have a NASCAR package you want to throw in there, Sean Desai, you're going to have plenty of cars to run in that NASCAR package. Similar to last year, I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait for training camp. Can't wait for just preseason and see some of these guys go and just see what kind of motor they're going to have, because it's going to be a high motor throughout the entire season, and I can't wait for it to get underway. Value, value, value. Another guy that they got much later in the draft here in the 4th round, 105th overall. I got to give credit to you guys in the chat, because this name came up in our chat. People talking about how you wanted to get Howie Roseman in here, or how you wanted to get Keely Ringo in here. And sure enough, you jumped right out there and you got him in this round. Absolutely unbelievable that Howie Roseman got him where he got him with the 105th overall pick. You talk about the size he has as a corner, just 20 years old. He's 6'2", so he's got great size there. Came up in the clutch. Another Georgia player, by the way, worth noting, as we all know, as is DeAndre Swift. Had a pick 6 in the national title game 2 years ago. The fact that the Eagles traded up to get him shows you they're a little surprised that he was still there on the board. Howie Roseman said at his press conference when it was all said and done that they were surprised that he was still there. And when they saw they could go up and get him at the 4th round, they went up and they got him in the 4th round. So that was the guy that some people had as maybe a 2nd round pick at worst. And the Eagles got him in the 4th round. So again, another value pick right there for the Eagles. And then they just add another quarterback arm in the room with the 6th round. In the 6th round, they take Tanner McKee out of Stanford. I'm going to be seeing Zach Ertz on Friday. I'm going to ask Zach Ertz at his House of Hope Foundation grand opening. I'm going to ask him about this fellow Stanford guy, Tanner McKee, and just see what he's got going on there. But Eagles have their quarterback room for the most part set, especially with their 1 and 2, which is the most important thing. But even as Nick Sirianni said at the close of the NFL draft on Saturday, you got to have a full quarterback room, and this is one way to solidify the fact that you have a full quarterback room. And yeah, if you watch any highlights on it, if you watch Stanford and all last year, the guy can sling it. He is very good on his feet. I wouldn't necessarily call him a running quarterback, but he is certainly a mobile quarterback. He can buy time. He's got a good arm. He's got good accuracy. And from what Nick Sirianni was talking about, he liked his football decision-making skills behind the line of scrimmage. So the quarterback room is obviously full. And then this name's just fun to say, but it's a defensive end in a 3-4 scheme, which is always interesting. They bring in Moro Ojomo. Get the jersey now, folks. Pretty fantastic. Another guy that the Eagles could use as an edge rusher, and also a guy to use in the DT position as well. Something that I do find interesting, though. if you had a problem with the Eagles linebacking core, and even if you were excited about Nakobe Dean, and I'm excited about Nakobe Dean, even if you like the idea of Nick Morrow coming in here, and I like the idea of Nick Morrow being in here, all that is good. The Eagles right now, getting this from Inquirer.com, the Eagles are spending $6.1 million on the linebacker position. That is the second lowest dollar amount attached to linebackers in the entire NFL. The Eagles right now, even though they did take a safety, God bless them, they did finally take a safety there in that third round with the 66 overall pick, Sidney Brown out of Illinois. A lot of good things to say about him, but right now the Eagles are only spending $7.2 million on safeties that are on the books right now in Philadelphia. That is the fourth lowest dollar amount spent on safeties. So you could argue that the Eagles have some work to do in that, but hey, dollar amount does not equal production, at least not yet. These guys have a high ceiling, and hopefully they're able to cash in with a guy like Terrell Edmonds, for instance, and also Sidney Brown. Now, Sidney Brown, the knock on him is that he was a smaller guy, 5'10", but everything you read, everything you watch, good instincts, very versatile, very familiar with playing in the box, so the Eagles will like that about him. Chance to start as a rookie, and one safety, only one safety in the NFL draft went before him. And that was a guy that a lot of us had our eye on, maybe at 30, maybe in the early second round if the Eagles traded back a little bit, then moved in and got him. Of course, Brian Branch out of Alabama. So very interesting that only one safety was taken before him, and he was taken with the 66 overall pick there in the fifth round. So overall, go ahead, tell me in your chat, or it should be third round. Over there, overall in the chat, let me know how you guys are feeling about that NFL draft. Let me know how you guys are feeling about Howie Roseman right now. Let me know if you guys feel just as fantastic as I do when it comes to what the Eagles got in that draft, because I'm feeling pretty damn good about when this season starts and how good that offensive line is going to be. Or should be offense and defensive line, really. The offensive line, just give it. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. One interesting thing to mention as I say that about Tyler Steen, had exclusively at Alabama played tackle. He hasn't played guard. So the Eagles make the pick, and they select Steen as a guard. Was he just looking around like, guys, I don't play guard, but I'm in the NFL, so whatever you guys need me to do, I'll do. I'll be a team guy. This is going to be, I mean, do we even talk about, are there even tests anymore from Jeff Stoutland? My thought, and reading up on Steen and all that stuff, if you need a guard and Jeff Stoutland is your offensive line coach, you could be a tackle and he'll make you a guard. If he could take Andre Dillard and make Andre Dillard a serviceable backup guard, which he did, by the way, this is the term I'm using, serviceable. I didn't say good. I didn't say great. I didn't say all pro. I didn't say anything crazy like that. I'm just saying serviceable. Guy go in there and it's not going to be a revolving door, as the old adage goes. Well, that's what Jeff Stoutland can do. If he can do that with Andre Dillard, then I think he can certainly do that with Tyler Steen and see how he can help this club going forward. So I find it interesting that they made that selection. I find it interesting that they announced him as a guard. And I think it just goes to show you how much confidence they have in Jeff Stoutland to just sprinkle his little pixie dust over a player, and all of a sudden the guy becomes a pretty damn good offensive lineman no matter where you want to line him up. So I think that's a testament to your boy Jeff Stoutland there in Stoutland University. I did find it interesting the Eagles did not make a second-round selection. I found it interesting they completely traded out of the round. They made back-to-back picks at 65 and 66 in the third round with Steen and Brown there with offensive line and safety. So a lot of interesting things there from the Eagles in that draft. Before I get into our chat check today, I do want to ask you guys this. Do the Eagles stand a chance? Or the Eagles. Do the Sixers stand a chance against the Celtics? Joel Embiid comes out over the weekend. Shams Charania putting it out there that Joel Embiid's LCL tear is a little bit more worrisome than originally anticipated. He is doubtful for Game 1 against the Celtics tonight in Boston. He is doubtful. They doubt will he play. Will he play? I doubt it. I know a lot of people might jump immediately to the "this is why we can't have nice things" jokes, but look, there's no getting used to this. Whether it's a broken face, whether it's a concussion, whether it's a damaged hand, whether it's he's got the poops. There's always something. There's always something with Joel Embiid. That's a very frustrating thing. And I'm not someone that gasps every single time he hits the ground. If he hits the ground in the playoffs, yeah, it does bother me. But now coming up with this, what is it, tear? I think it's a strain, excuse me, LCL strain in his knee. Now that he's got this, it's immediately, there's no time to sulk over Joel Embiid right now. If we would have, we knew that he had a knee injury. We knew that every minute he could get extra in this series, in this playoff run with the Celtics dropping, game 5 and then going back to Atlanta for game 6, that buying Joel Embiid a couple of extra days. We all rejoiced over that. But now push is coming to shove tonight in Boston for game 1 of the second round playoff series against these Boston Celtics. I didn't feel good going into this series. I wasn't going to pick the Sixers to win this series. I've been asking this entire time, ever since the NBA All-Star. Really ever since the season started. Give me confidence, this team. You guys are probably tired of hearing me say it already, but just give me confidence that you could actually make it out of the second round of the playoffs. Just give me confidence that you could actually somehow magically make it out of the second round of the playoffs. And up until this point, first round sweep, doing so without Joel Embiid, of course, as he missed that game 4 against the Nets, and playing great after the NBA All-Star game and the 26 games that they played and all that, and that's wonderful. But give me confidence you can do it. There's nothing that would give me more confidence that they could actually do it than winning game 1 without Joel Embiid. If they played with Joel Embiid in game 1 and they dominated, yeah, maybe. But if they play without Joel Embiid in game 1 and they win, and you see James Harden be every ounce of James Harden that you traded for, you see Tyrese Maxey be every ounce of a potential all-star that we think he can be, you see Paul Reed play serviceable backup minutes and now as a starter in this game, then yeah. See Tobias Harris really step up. It's got to be an all-around team game, as we all know, and everyone had to play their best, and that hasn't changed. Now they need to be even better. It does put a damper on things. It goes without saying. And yes, all the NBA pundits that don't like Embiid and don't vote for him to be MVP, this is a shining example of why they don't vote for him to be MVP. When you need him the most, he's not there. I'm going to go ahead and assume that Joel Embiid plays in this series. I'm going to cross my fingers that playing in this series means he'll be on the court in game 2. But as we continue to look for hope that the Sixers can make it out of the second round finally for the first time since the days out, Iverson. Since the last time they had an MVP, by the way, which Joel Embiid could be announced as the MVP tomorrow, that would certainly give me a lot of confidence that the Sixers could actually make it out of the second round if they actually win without Joel Embiid in the lineup. Tuesday, by the way, could be a very interesting day in Philadelphia sports history. Joel Embiid could be the MVP, and Bryce Harper could return to the Phillies lineup after Tommy John surgery that he had 20 minutes ago. What? Before I get into all things Bryce Harper, Phillies lost a golden opportunity yesterday to exact a little bit of revenge there on the Houston Astros. It would have been 3 wins in a row against the Astros. It would have been a sweep against the Astros. It would have been 5 wins in a row by the Phillies. They already clinched their 4th straight series, so that's good. That's a nice sign. Keep winning series. You're going to look pretty good at the end of the season. They're 4 games out of first place in the NL East after 1 month of baseball. They're very much within the wild card shot. I think they're a game out of the wild card right now. So that's good to see. But they're doing all this without their MVP. And they're doing all this with their big acquisition in Trey Turner, not exactly playing so great. We'll get into that in a second. But the fact that they're this close still without Bryce Harper is great. Bryce Harper coming back as early as tomorrow. He'll have an appointment today, and he'll get hopefully the all clear, and then he'll just jump in the lineup like nothing ever happened. I don't think he's getting tested for any PEDs. They don't really do that in baseball anymore, but if he was tested, I'm sure he'd come back positive as an android. Good Lord. or a mutant, maybe. I mean, all that stuff Nick Sirianni said about Jalen Hurts healing faster than anyone because basically he's a superhero, I guess it applies to Bryce Harper. Now, here's the deal. I'm very excited that he's going to join the lineup, but this is unprecedented. And him playing first base later in the season, not immediately, but him being the DH and just getting back in this lineup anyway, is incredible. I got to see that the guy can stay healthy and that this is not a rust job. I don't care if they sprayed deer antler spray all over his elbow or whatever they gave him, but this is miraculous that he is back. If he can, I'll give him a month. If he can get to not even an MVP level, but an all-star level, not saying he'll make an all-star game, but at least get back to that level, that caliber of play, I will be amazed. Absolutely amazed. I'm going to hold out hope that that's what happens. I have my doubts. I have my concerns. But it's Bryce Harper. The man's not human, and I'm never going to bet against him. That doesn't mean that I got a couple concerns about it. But I'm hoping he's here to just absolutely mash. So let's talk about Trey Turner for a second, okay? Bryce's buddy boy, okay? Not a strong first month. 260 his first 30 days as a Philly. Here's what's concerning the most. And it's not even the 260 batting average. This is a guy that, for his career, is a 300 hitter. Over the last couple of seasons, you see him hit like 340. You've seen him hit, at least like 320. You've seen him hit some home runs. It's been pretty good over the last couple of years with Trey Turner. Getting used to a new team. Somebody pointed out on the post-game show on JAKIB Media last night that, it was our friend Ray Fitzgerald, as a matter of fact, in the chat, talking about how this is his Nick Castellanos season, but hopefully not for the entire season, where he's getting used to a new city, he's settling in, big paycheck, big payday and all that. Yeah, it could be true. And let's hope that that's a problem that is going to quickly go away. And mentally, he's going to be just fine and dandy. And after the game, when he was asked about criticism or maybe fans being tough on him, he said, yeah, no one's tougher on themselves than me. So no one's harder on me than me. All right. He's got 2 hits in the last 2 games, and both of those were bloops, but hits nonetheless. Also in the last 2 games, and this is hard to do for a guy like Trey Turner, he's had 2 separate at-bats where he has struck out on 3 consecutive pitches, swinging. That's 6 swings and misses in 2 separate at-bats. One came in the first inning of Game 2. The other last night came with 2 runners on, 2 outs in the 5th. Was it the 5th inning? There it is, in the 7th inning, excuse me. So Montero's on the mound, and all he's doing is throwing heat. Bohm flies out. Clemens strikes out. And then Sosa steps up and gets a single to right field. Then Bryson Stott steps up, and he hits a single to left field. Both those guys looking to jump on fastballs because that's all Montero was throwing. Bryson Stott swung at the first pitch on a middle-in fastball. He knew what to expect. He got what he was expecting, and he just missed it. I thought it was a great strategy by Stott, great anticipation, and he just missed it. And, man, it was a meatball, middle in, turn on that ball, and that's going to fly 430 feet over the right field wall. He just missed it. Still ended up getting a single in the at-bat, so now you got runners on first and second with 2 outs. Trey Turner steps up, and he chases 3 straight fastballs last night in the 7th inning. One was about the belt. One was about the letters. The other was about the eyes. And he chased that high heat from Montero in that 7th inning and struck out on 3 straight pitches, 3 straight swings and misses. Twice in this series. That is very un-Trey Turner-like. I know he's aggressive at the plate. I know he doesn't necessarily throughout his career see a lot of pitches per se. But that is just for a guy that 300 hitters in his career, and he's swinging like that. Did somebody give him a heavier bat and not tell him? It just does not. It seems very un-Trey Turner-like. Now he's going into Los Angeles. Maybe he needs to exercise some demons with a team that he played with for parts of 2 seasons. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and chalk it up to a difficult start. And then, look, 260 is not terrible in today's day, but it's terrible for Trey Turner. It's terrible for a 300 million plus guy that you're expected to be getting on base and stealing bases and coming up with clutch hits. And you haven't seen too much of that, unfortunately, in the first month as a Philly from Trey Turner. Let's hope for the turnaround tonight. 10-10 start time in Los Angeles with this 3-game series with the Dodgers. I'm going to jump right into the chat check and see how everybody's doing on this fine day. Starting it off, where did I start yesterday or last week? On the Farzy Show channel. I'm going to start over on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. What's up, guys? Thank you guys for joining me. Apologize for the, now that I'm seeing myself in the monitor, a little fishbowl action here, huh? Hey, guys. What's going on? For the people on the podcast, I just bounced my big, fat, bald head all over the screen. And by screen, I mean my phone, which is how we're doing the show today. And also the people on the podcast. I'm talking into a microphone that is not doing the show. Hold on. Here we go. For the people on the podcast. All right, there we go. Please excuse my dumbassery. King Pooty TV. It's a family show. Great morning, people. Go Birds. Go Birds to you. Sean Kilrain, what's up? Good morning to you. Called Philadelphia Bulldogs. Wow, what a draft. Sean Kilrain, I concur. King Pooty TV, which is what they called me in college. I think with some hard work, Ringo can be that unicorn in the secondary who can play all over. I think the thing the Eagles love about him is his versatility. Again, shout out our guy, John McMullen. Shout out our guy again. He said the Eagles weren't looking for that much versatility. I still think the Eagles want that versatility. I think they love what they got from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think they love what they got from Malcolm Jenkins for all those years. And, I mean, I'm not even going to mention that other name that we all know and we all love. I think they liked his versatility. That 7th-round Texas pick will make the team. I don't disagree. Wait. Hold on. Tyler Steen played guard? Or maybe I'm just thinking of his senior year. He only played tackle? Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Scoozy. Thank you, 4133, the podcast. King Pooty TV, I'm all over with Embiid. Heard every postseason. This team will be broken up if we lose to the Celtics. Yeah, most likely. And then either Dame Lillard joins the Sixers or Luka. I'm going to hold out hope that Luka becomes a member of the Sixers. Let me live my fantasy. Tyler Russell. Should have taken Kenny McIntosh in the 7th. I'm going to trust you on that. Real RMP. Sidney Brown looking like Palomalo? Really? That's high praise. Let's hope so. King Pooty TV's favorite pick was Ringo. Okay. Good for... That sounds fun. Thanks, everyone in the chat there on JAKIB Media. I'm going to go over to the Farzy Show. What's up, John Cheeseborough? Good morning. T-Bro, dealer time, Farzy. Yeah, this was like old times. We started like 20 minutes late today. Camera wasn't working. Mic wasn't working. It was all working last night. I literally did the post-game show, went to bed, got up, started the show, went to put on the camera, and it was all like, what do you call it? I don't know, blurry. And I don't just mean the shot was, but like you couldn't even see me. Come on, I know you guys wake up and want to see me. I told some friends of mine, I'm hearing that the Eagles have ordered Georgia on My Mind to be playing during the pregame. Georgia. They should. They absolutely should. It's a phenomenal song. Still working to confirm this. Oh, thank you, John. April. Good morning, April. Sean Kilrain, you double-dipping chat bastard. Good for you. Both in JAKIB Media and Farzy. Dan Schwartz. What's up, Dan? Happy second-round exit beginning day. Dan, the optimism. It kills me. Turns the 7th-round picks into a 5th. Yep. Dank Burrito. Well, I think you need to find yourself a better burrito, pal. Wowie Goatsman. I like it, Dank. Beep. The defense is going to be solid. I concur. Dan Schwartz. So John is for the people on JAKIB that maybe not have watched the show before. John Cheeseborough enjoys putting Dan Schwartz in the corner it's a fun little thing that we do here. And Dan to say, yes, please forward my mail to the corner. I prefer to enjoy my Sixers second round playoffs in the fetal position. That's pretty much what we all enjoy them, unfortunately. John and she, it's funny, laughing. Everyone's laughing. Everyone's having a good time. We're laughing. Colin, what's up? Farzi, Philly sports is buzzing. Oh, Philly with an I. Interesting. Philly sports is buzzing. I also predict the Phillies will never go back below 500, and the Eagles D shall henceforth be known as the Broad Street Bulldogs. Colin, I like it. That man is Wolverine. Can't tell me different. PJ, producer Jim, of course. Bryce Harper could be back tomorrow. People get excited. I'm stoked. Dank Burrito, hashtag Bulldogs of Broad Street. He's 6'2". 6'2", thank you. Sean Kilmer, Tyler Steen, welcome to Stoutland U. April, this is an insane recovery for Bryce Harper. I concur. Hopefully Ringo is Bobby Taylor 2.0. I absolutely love Bobby Taylor. Literally compared Ringo to Bobby Taylor. John Cheesebro, you doing the same thing? Howdy, guy. Zedner is the safe pick for undrafted free agents. Okay. I was talking about the collision at first. Wait, the collision at first. Well, who? What? What happened? Last night? I saw the collision at second. Oh, Bryson Stott. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay. Yes. It looks like they banged knees. No mention of Malta? What is happening? Okay, now I'm lost. It's the Philadelphia second rounders. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I see what you're saying there. John Cheesebro, do they have a chance? Yes. The Celtics let the Hawks take them to Game 6 when people said the series would be over early. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't think the Sixers are going to get swept. Right? They're not going to get swept. Right? All right. Michael Lewis. Yes, sometimes a team will play better fundamentally when the main guy isn't there. I concur. They sometimes do. It's just that the Celtics happen to play really good fundamental basketball, and they're pretty good. It was, Ray Fitzgerald. It was me. After the season, I would love to move Embiid. Oh, if it was me after the season, I would love to move Embiid. Raymond, how dare you? Great year. But not around for the playoffs every year. Take the best offer. Wah, wah. Dank Burrito, did you change your avatar since we started this chat? Death, taxes, and Joel Embiid injured in the playoffs. Only 3 guarantees in life. Ugh. John Cheesebro, when they're not moving Embiid. Okay. Dan Schwartz, no way are they moving him. Okay. All right. Everyone's now I'm not moving Embiid either. Next year, Sixers need to spend more money on more talented centers just in case this happens again, says Michael Lewis. It seems like it happens a lot. I like my sleep, says PJ. God, I hate 10 p.m. start times. Hey, I'll be up. Wait. Oh. April says Lil Toots broke in and was yanking cords. Probably. Can't trust her. Can't trust her, man. You never know. When she sees Ursula in her bedroom, she's just like, she freaks out. She comes downstairs, started pulling cords out of the wall and stuff. It's pretty nuts. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars. SkyMotorcars.com. Absolutely insane. Steph Curry, 50-point night. If you didn't see it, make sure you catch the highlights at least. 27-foot threes, no big deal there. 30-foot threes, no big deal there. Just Steph Curry being absolutely incredible. And yes, the Boston Bruins, after a record-setting regular season, done! Eliminated by the Florida Panthers in Game 7, which is just, tastes so good. Let me drink the tears of unfathomable sadness. from Boston Bruins fans, as I said on Twitter. And some people actually took this seriously. I thought this was the most obvious sarcastic thing I ever said. Take it easy on Boston sports fans, guys. Okay? They've had a rough go of it over the last 20 years. So just take it easy on them for a second. Okay? Okay, Scooter. Thanks, everyone, on the show. Appreciate you guys. You guys are great, as per usual. Be back with you guys tomorrow. Break down the NFL draft a little bit further and hopefully also talk about the 76ers somehow magically, astonishingly winning game 1 without Joel Embiid against the Boston Celtics of their second-round playoff series. Let's cross our fingers for that. Bonus me today on Fox 29. I think their cameras are working just fine and dandy. So catch you guys hopefully on Fox and then also catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening for everyone out there. And Jim Heidenproof's program did a wonderful job as per usual. Thanks so much. Be back with you guys tomorrow and to be back with you guys on JAKIB Media tonight after the Phillies play the Dodgers in game 1 of their 3-game set in Los Angeles. See you guys. Bye.